Good morning, Boker Tov to everyone. May it be a day that we hear Besoros Tovos, Yeshuas, and Nachamos, peace in the north and the south, hostages coming home, soldiers returning to their families, and only good news. 10 Minutes series is generously sponsored by Shmuel and Esther Shayowitz, Lila Nishmas, his father Yaakov Yidam and Gedalia, and in the schus of Refuah Shlema of her mother, Batsheva Bas Bluma Rivka. Today is also sponsored by Marty and Sarah Shandelson in memory of Jerry Kamenetsky, an incredible leader of our community to whom we owe a great debt of gratitude. Neshama should have an aliyah, a big loss for our community. We are learning Iggeres HaRamban, the Ramban's letter to his son, the Ramban's letter to each and every one of us. The Ramban has been teaching us how to be a better version of ourselves, condition ourselves to always speak calmly and sweetly, benachas, l'chol adam, l'chol eis, u'v'zeh tinatzam and akas, and in that will be spared anger. If you always speak calmly and with tranquility and serenity, then you'll never get angry. If a person never raises their voice, they never get angry. It's not that be determined you'll never get angry, you won't raise your voice. Be determined to never raise your voice, says the Ramban, and you'll never get angry. And in lieu of the anger, what fills your heart instead is Yirah Shamayim, and awe, fear of Hashem, and a healthy sense of humility, of anava. If anger is a midah ra'ah mikol midos, if anger is a categorically bad midah, then humility is a categorically good midah. Humility, to be grounded, to be anchored, to recognize that we submit and surrender to Hashem. The talents, the skills, the blessings He's given us, they're on loan. They're not part of our permanent collection. We're responsible to use them to their fullest every day. And then the Ramban writes, V'yata b'ni, and now my son, we spoke last week. The Ramban again invokes the same way he began. Same way he began the letter to his son, Shma b'ni musar avicha, quoting the pasuk, my son, I come from love, you're my son. I care, I love. I'm not trying to catch you. I'm not trying to criticize you. I'm not trying to condemn you. I'm trying to be your father. I love you. So again, he brings it back. V'yata, and now, b'ni, my son, I love you. I'm not here to knock you down. I'm here to lift you up. Da ure'eh. Know and see. Last week we asked, if you know, why do you need to see? If you see, why do you need to know? And the answer is, that which we know up here needs to filter down. The tefillin shabarosh, tefillin shabayad, you can't be sach, you can't speak between them, because you're not reliable, you're not dependable. It has to be seamless. What we know up here, to filter down to our hands and our heart, to put it into practice. More than that, re'eh. Ezu chacham haro esanola, we spoke last week from the Gra of Vilna Gaon. How does a person live life to its fullest? To see our future self. Don't only live in the present, what I want, what I need, what feels good. How will that impact me? If I eat that now, what will be my lab report in 20 years from now? If I deprive myself of sleep now, how will that impact my neurological, my cognitive capacity in 20 years from now? If I speak, do, go, watch, look, see, how does that impact me? The Gra said, what is Gehenna? It's in the future. We sit on a couch. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gathers everyone we ever knew, our mothers, our fathers, our spouse, our children, our family, our friends, and we watch the movie of our life, public and private. We can edit out the parts we don't want anyone to see. That's called tshuva. If we don't, that's Gehenna, sitting and watching it with Hashem. So when you're making the decision, look at that, say that, do that, go there. I don't want to have to watch that on a big screen with my whole family in front of Hashem later. So that's what it means, roa es hanolad, to see the future. And the Ramban writes, a person who's arrogant, a person who has an inflated ego over others, such a person is rebelling against the royalty, the monarchy, the kingship of Hashem. He's trying to glorify himself, he's trying to dress, he's trying to be adorned in the uniform, in the lavush of Malchus Shamayim. Shenamar Hashem Malach Geirus Lavesh, as the pasuk in Tehillim says, we incorporate it into our davening, Friday morning, Friday night. Hashem Malach Geirus Lavesh. Hashem the King, he wears Geus. He wears pride, greatness, royalty. That's what glory. And if a person tries to put that on for himself, they're mored b'malchus shamayim. So the question is, if I'm arrogant over others, what does that have to do with God? With God, I'm humble, I'm modest, I surrender. Hashem, you're God, King of the universe. I'm a nothing. You are everything. What does that have to do with taka feeling, though? I'm smarter, I'm more handsome, more artistic, more athletic, I'm wealthier, I'm more charismatic than everyone else. Why can't a person be arrogant? I'm trying not to feel that. That was an example. Why can't a person feel arrogant over others and still be humble before God? The Ramban is telling his son, if you're arrogant to others, hamizga al habrios, so you're morid b'malchus shamayim. So the simple understanding of Dan Segel in his commentary in Iggeres HaRamban understands this way. He says, because if you're arrogant, whether over God or whether over others. And just like When it came to Mordechai, he put on the clothing of the king. That was his reward for saving the king. That's what killed Haman. A person is arrogant, who thinks they're a power, they're in control over others. So such a person is ki'ilu putting on the levush. You're trying to wear the royal garb of Hashem, but you're not God. You're not even close to God. Let God do his thing. Don't get involved. Stay out of his way. You're not God. You're not God. Don't try to imitate God. You're poor imposter of God. Don't put on the clothing, the garb, the royal garb of God. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. That's why it's morid b'malchus shamayim. But I would like to humbly suggest to you this morning, perhaps another interpretation. You know why you're morid b'malchus shamayim? Because if you're arrogant over other people, you know what you're denying in other people? Their Tzelem Elokim, their godliness. Tzadok HaKohen famously writes that a person, the mitzvah of Emunah, demands that we believe and have faith and know that there is a Hashem. But just like there's a mitzvah of Emunah in Hashem, there's also a mitzvah of Emunah in ourselves, that there's a Tzelem Elokim in us and in people. When we relate to, when we connect with others, we shouldn't see their faults and their failures and their foibles and their shortcomings. We should see the godliness in them. What's redeemable? Now, some people, that's right on the surface. They're amazing, they're incredible, they're special. For other people, you got to dig deep. You got to search. It's not easy to find. But that's what v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha means. Love others like yourself. You give yourself the benefit of the doubt. You know what's redeemable. You know the good part, the godliness in you. Find the godliness and the good in the other. Believe, have emunah not only in Hashem, have emunah that there's Hashem in you. Every yid is a chilek elokah mimal mamish. Every Jew is a piece of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that means that if every Jew is a chilek elokah mimal mamish, there's a piece of God in every Jew. What happens? When you criticize or condemn or marginalize or exclude, when you feel arrogant or superior to another Jew, you know who you're arrogant or superior over? A piece of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If every Jew is a chilek elokah mimal mamish, and you're arrogant and greater than and better than and more entitled to than some other Jew, then you're not only arrogant and superior and obnoxious to a fellow person, you're morid b'malchus shamayim. You're denying the God in them. Perhaps that's what the Ramban means when he says that language. That's the language. Hamizgah belibo ala brios. By the way, he says belibo. Let's say you walk around incredibly humble, you're modest, and you're humble, and you don't speak. And I'm so humble, I can't speak. I'm the most humble. So you don't. It's only belibo. On the outside, you act humble, but in your heart, you're mizgah. Every time you're in a room with people, you think, what a bunch of idiots. I'm so much smarter than them. I'm so much more right than they are. What a bunch of morons. But it's belibo. It's in your heart. On the outside, no, I don't have to express my opinion. I'm very humble. On the outside, you're very humble. On the inside, all you're thinking is, bunch of morons, bunch of fools. I'm so much smarter than all of them. What do these people know? It's only belibo. Still, the Ramban says to his son, even if it's only in your heart, you're morid b'malchus shamayim. Why? Because it's not about what you behave, demonstrate. It's not about what's on the outside. It's about if in your heart you feel better than a fellow Jew, you're not only feeling you're better than a fellow Jew, whom are you feeling better than? Kadosh Baruch Hu himself. Because every fellow Jew is a chilek elokah mimal mamish. There's a piece of God in every yid. And when you feel better than them, you're feeling better than HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the Ramban says, walk around, and not only on the outside, but also work that on the inside. Every Jew, including a 3-year-old Jew, you say there's something to learn. There's some way that they're going to be better or greater than I. There's something to gain. Who am I? What am I? Whatever I have. Maybe I have a good high IQ. Maybe I have a good memory. Maybe I have a full head of hair. I'm not better than the rabbi or some other Jew that doesn't. It's not their fault they don't. So I'm not better. You guys are all asleep. Nothing. I'm getting nothing. Absolutely nothing back. Have a cup of coffee, a slushie, a pastry. It's this cold weather. We got to put up a crock pot of soup. It's coming. It's coming soon. It's coming soon. So a person shouldn't feel I'm better than anybody else. And you think the Ramban could leave it there? We'll see next week. He continues. And what are you going to be arrogant about? Wealth? You think it's your wealth? I didn't check the Mega Millions last night. Could be I'm the wealthiest person here. I didn't check. The longer you go without checking, the longer you can think maybe you won. Once you check, it's all over. It's not for me. It's for this campus. That's what I played for. So are you going to be arrogant about money? Whose money is it? It's Hashem's. But are you going to be arrogant about kavod? Your kavod could disappear overnight. The Ramban's going to go on. It's so important to be humble. I'll continue to unpack it. May it be a day that we hear Besoros Tovos Yeshuas V'Nachamos. Wonderful, wonderful Wednesday.